Turn my mic down. Turn my mic down. From the sick, what is it? That's better. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Happy Sabbath, Israel. Today's class, we're going to go into the Most High months and the Heathen months. I don't know if some of y'all got it, but we're going to go into these calendar days, go into some of their months and why they changed, what they represent when they got the names of the months that we go by anyway. So it's going to be a lot of information. So let's. I want to need y'all to make sure you take good notes. Big man, take some notes this time. You gotta write this down. You ain't gonna be able to. It's gonna be more than just precept. I got you. I've been teaching them, big brother. Huh? All praise. Let's go. The first thing we're going to start off with, the brother just came out with some of it. So we're going to start out first with Sirach 43, 6 through 8. And this is one of the scriptures right here. Is where we get an understanding of what's going on during the phases of the moon, that we be in the right places at the right time, that we're doing the right things. This is one of the scriptures that we use.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43, and verse
6.
Verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, and a sign of the world.
And a sign of what?
And a sign of the world.
A sign of the world. He made this moon. So a lot of times when the moon's got its phases, the moon's getting a reflection off the sun. So everything is set in order. And if you know, the moon's go in different phases. You know, it's waxing and waning. Waxing meaning it's shining up. So that's how you think about that. When you see it, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it's a full moon. That's waxing. Just think about it. When you wax up, what happens? It's shining. So that should be what y'all waning, meaning it's fading away. So when it's a big moon, it's waxing. When it's going to that first light and it start getting bigger, quarter moon, 3/4 moon, that's waxing. When it's waning, meaning it's a big blue moon, a bright moon, and it starts going backwards. You know,
the moon is
fade.
Our only natural satellite. It's a company.
And that's a perfect perfection when you have the Most High. He can set a sun in a certain place that as this sun moves, and they always taught us the earth is running around doing all this. No, it's not. Because if the earth was rotating around, if it was moving and revolving like they said, I wouldn't have to use a car. I wouldn't have to take a plane. I would just be able to jump and be somewhere else when I come back and hit the ground. They say it's moving so many miles. That means if a plane get up in the sky, it shouldn't have to fly. Just hover until China come around and just come back down. We didn't even just get a helicopter. But that's what kind of science they taught us. That's how stupid that sounds. That means I could jump right now. Shoot, Michael Jordan should be every time he played basketball. That was in Chicago, do this right here, and be in Europe landing.
Get a precept on it right quick. Go to Psalm chapter 104, verse 5. Because like I've said, the earth does not rotate.
Mm-hmm. That's a good precept too.
You get there, I'll read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 5. Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever.
For how long, God?
Forever.
So how the earth gonna move if the foundations already laid? They cannot be removed forever. What it say? Lucy, you have some explaining to do.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Because a lot of times people don't go in the Bible and read these things, and it straight say, guess what? The earth And who laid the foundation, they shall not be removed forever, man.
And it's set in this place.
Jump down to verse 19.
Jump down 19, man.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 19. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, read that next.
Look, y'all hear that?
The sun knows it's going down. Because y'all got to understand, when he said two great lights, he got a light up there. One of them is a reflection off the other light, which got power. And when you see that light, and that energy going on there, it's moving at us. Everything is perfect for the way the Most High did it. The sun's rotation around the earth and the moon's in this same place give us the signs that we see what the seasons are. Y'all get that?
Verse 22. The sun ariseth. They gather themselves together and lay them down in their dens.
Mm-hmm.
So he's letting you know that the sun goes up and it goes down.
Uh-huh.
That's what's moving, and the earth is stationary.
Yep, it's moving. It's rotating. And all that other stuff. I used to always question that when I was back in the elementary. Huh? I was like, we moving how fast? That's what they told us. Now, I just couldn't understand it. It didn't make sense to me when I was little. I accepted it because they said that's what it's doing. Till I got the Bible and realized, man, they lying. I mean, you just think about it, you realize how it's just not true. Go back. Sirach 43.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 6. Again from the top.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world.
A sign of the world. Go ahead.
From the moon is the sign of feast.
See, the feast, it said for the moon is the sign of feast. And like I said, when you're doing this, when you're looking at it, like I'm in the office of creating calendars. So when I had to look at this, and I studied before I got into truth, I already wanted to know these things. So when I'm looking at these things, I realize that, when you're looking at the moon, you got to study what's going on with the moon. Go ahead.
Hold up. We have to address something too. Verse 7. From the moon is the sign of the feast. So some brothers will take this in the truth to say that this is going into the lunar Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
But what day did the Most High God make the moon? No, what day was the moon created on? Any brother know, Brother Fred, what day was the moon created on? The fourth day. So the 7-day Sabbath is not dictated by the moon. Because if it was dictated by the moon, it would be what? 4 days off.
Mm-hmm.
Do brothers see that? Do sisters see that?
And if they do not understand, guess what? Days were made before the moon.
That's right.
Y'all get that? The days were made before the moon.
Uh-huh.
So, if the days was made before the moon, then we don't dictate our Sabbath by the moon.
Not the 7th-day Sabbath.
And read that again. When you read this in the right there, it's going to let you know what that moon's for.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 7. From the moon is the sign of feast.
That's what it is. The moon gives you the sign of our feast days. Like I said, when I do a lot of when I was going through the 14th day after the new moon, 14th day after the new moon, 14th day after the new moon, I call them and ask them, man, what is that? Then they tell me. Because what happens when we have in the 14th day or when we're in a feast day? Anybody ever pay attention? What's happening? They say they know. They saying they know. I mean, come on, what's happening on the feast day? I guess we're gonna have to go out and I need to point it out. I thought y'all knew. The moon is bright. It's a full moon on feast day.
On the 3 main feast days.
Yes. The moon is bright. Because a lot of times we didn't have no lanterns and lights and stuff like that. So on the feast day when they were celebrating outside, the moon gave light to the children of Israel during the feast. Come on, guys. Right. Say it like Esau. Come on, guys.
Even within that, like we say, what different type of Sabbaths are there? Any brother know? Don't be afraid, man. How many types of Sabbaths are there? What you got? Look at now. Name them.
7-day Sabbath,
Uh-huh.
feast days,
Yeah.
and the new moons.
It's part of the feast days, but that's good. He's letting you know 7-day Sabbath is considered a Sabbath. The feast days are considered Sabbaths. And like you said, going into the new moon, which is a feast day. So it's different types of Sabbaths. Brothers got to know that, sisters got to know that. I'll praise a little bit. Now go ahead.
We might have to bring him to the street. Go ahead. My son.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43,
And
verse 7 again.
Go, yeah, 7 again. Let's go.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 7. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her
Hey,
perfection.
what?
A light that decreaseth in her perfection.
Fred, what does that mean?
From the moon is the sign of peace, a light that decreases in her perfection. It's fading. Meaning the light
I mean, it's decreasing. That means it's full moon. So in feast days, like the brother said, it's the main 3 feast days we have for sure. The light will be full moon, decreasing. Decreasing. That means waning. It'll be waning. Everybody knows. Waning is what is what. So when it's getting bright is what? When it's decaying, decreasing is what?
waning.
Waning. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 8. The month is called after her name.
The what?
The month is called after her
The
name.
month is called after her name. So it's like what we have a what? A new moon. Meaning a new month. But that's what new moon actually means, new month. So at that time, so like I said, we gotta like we get this one we done used, now a new one is up. Then we shine it up. Then it start fading away till we need a new one. I'm just putting that in your head so you can stick the cycle, the sync to you. That's what's happening. We get a new one. So we get that dark one that's brand new. Put that tile to it, shine it up, do our thing. And then we wearing it out, and then we get a new one. Every month. Every month. Every month. Go ahead.
Verse 8. The month is called after her name,
Mm-hmm.
increasing wonderfully.
What's happening when we get a new moon? What is that? It's waxing. So that means it's so like 'cause we got some people always say that now the new moon is a full moon. No. The month it said it's increasing at the time. So the new moon at the new month gotta be a dark one and it start increasing in light. Waxing. Getting brighter. Right? So y'all get that. Go ahead.
Increasing wonderfully in her changing,
Uh-huh.
being an instrument of the armies above,
Uh-huh.
shining in the firmament of heaven.
Shining in the firmament of heaven. So those are a couple of things that the moon gives us as sign. Like I said, y'all make sure you pay attention. I promise I'll point it out next feast day. It'd be right there, something. It's right on, it'd be right here. Big and bright as day. I thought y'all knew what that was. I would have been said something. My bad. I thought y'all knew. I can promise you we will point it out next time.
And you see with even the little phases that's up here, I know I'm trying to find something better. But it's showing you how it's going from starting off dark, then it's going to light. Even like how the Most High God brought us, you know, with the baby. Start off in the womb in the darkness, then he comes into his fullness. You know, we was in the dark, now we come into the light. You know, the Most High God does these things symbolically.
And you think about how the day goes. The day starts out, you see a little light all the way to the brightest part of the day, which is in the middle part of the day, all the way to the till it start dimming to get back dark again.
And that's the same thing because
Same as the moon.
the moon is brightest in the what? The 15th and 14th.
Day
What?
of the
In the
month.
middle of the month. Same thing. The Most High is order, man.
Let me get a precept.
Order all the way around.
We got King David.
Nah, go ahead.
Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 20 right quick. Now this is when Jonathan had wanted King David to go come to the feast day, to the new moon feast day, but he knew that Saul wanted to kill King David. Jonathan was Saul's son, but Jonathan and King David was real good friends. So King David knew he had to he couldn't come to the feast day because if he came there, Saul was gonna kill him. What we going to is 1 Samuel chapter 20. We're gonna start at verse 20, y'all. No, start at verse 18. We'll jump down.
Verse 5. You don't want to write 5?
You want to start at 5? I don't want to read. I didn't want to read too much. Take too much out of the class. Let's start at verse 5 though.
5 and 18. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon,
Read.
and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat.
But
But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at even.
So King David went to hide himself in the field. If the moon was bright and the moon was full during the feast day, how could he hide himself in the field? Because in a full moon, it means it's real bright outside. But if it was a dark moon, then guess what he had? He had shadows and different things he could hide behind because it was dark outside, right? Brothers and sisters, y'all get there, right? Jump down to verse 17.
This is the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 17. And Jonathan caused David to swear again because he loved him.
Because he what?
Because he loved
This
him.
is why I'm telling you, Jonathan and King David, they was real good friends, man. He loved King David, man. That King David loved him too. That's why King David promised Jonathan, even after Saul died, King David promised Jonathan that, you know what, I'm not gonna let your father's name depart out of this house. So he still gave his father a good name even after he died, right? Read.
For he loved him.
For he loved him, read.
As he loved his own soul.
Because as he loved his own soul, read.
Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty.
So this is what Jonathan was telling him, okay, you was supposed to be sitting at the king's table. Why? Because King David was anointed to be king, but he also was Saul's what? Son-in-law. So he was going to sit at the king's table regardless. So he had a seat at the table. And then he said, look, tomorrow's a new moon and you're going to be missed, right? Jump down to verse 22.
Verse 22. Go ahead. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 22. But if I shall say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond thee. Go thy way, for the Lord has sent thee away. And as touching the matter,
read,
which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between thee and me forever.
So guess what? He told Jonathan, look, man, don't worry about it. The Lord's going to be between me and you forever, man. We good friends. Don't worry about that, man. Read.
Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field. And when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat.
So in the new moon, this is what happened. King David hid himself in the field during the new moon, man. Once we read, if you read down, they tell them all what King David is. That's why I say it's pivotal that brothers and sisters, y'all go back, y'all get this history. So when we start going into these different precepts, you'll know what, okay, I read that before. This is some of my history. This makes sense, right? Go ahead,
It's a lot out here, so like we gotta always start with sometimes you can't pass up on some of the stuff you do read or some of the history that you go by because it all sometimes play a part, not necessarily at that time, but when you get further down the Bible, then you're like, oh yeah, that's what that is. So let's go to what Ben and I brought out earlier, Psalms 81 and 3. prelude before we started on that. I mean, before class started.
You said that was the spirit. I didn't know I was going into
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was like, that's come out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3.
No, 81.
Salaki, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day.
We blowing up the trumpet in the new moon, meaning at the beginning of the month, the new month. The new month. And we read what would be happening at this time of the month, right? It would be a dark moon, according to Sirach. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For this was a statute for Israel, and a law of the God of Jacob.
For this is a statute and a law. That's why no matter what, every time we got a new moon, we need to blow that trumpet. It ain't something we do just because we like to play with this little, this thing, sofa. It's because we are commanded to do that.
And brothers and sisters that are missing these things, guess what? You're breaking the law and the statute.
Exactly. He said it's the law and statute forever. So if you don't be going to no place and you ain't got no sofa at home, you can't be keeping that law. You're not keeping it.
That's talking about you individualized.
Yes, but it's available for you. It's available. But hey, I'm not gonna be by myself. Knock yourself out. Let's go to Exodus chapter 13. Let's get to the first month. Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. I'm going to give y'all a couple of things that happened within these months, too. Some significant incidents that occurred during these months. We're going to get out of this, too. This will be a little more history also. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which he came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
In the what?
In the month of Abib.
In the what?
In the month of Abib.
See, the Most High is so structured that he didn't bring us out of Egypt until what? The first of the month. Same thing like when you get your check. Bone Thugs. It's the first of the month, baby. And guess what? This is the first year, first month, he brought us out of Egypt. He labeled everything. See, he had time. He had a perfect time for when we do it. So not only that, it's set up for everything that was given to us in the law. According to how the feast days went, everything was a perfect time. This man, our God is perfect, man, for real. With everything that he does, everything is in perfection, man. It's in order. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into...
I don't need 5. I'm sorry. I'm so like you. Let's go to Exodus 34 and 18.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 34 and verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt.
See, he started the year off with the time, he released us out of Egypt. At the same time, he started the whole year, the new year. That's like a new beginning. But you know, Abib, write this down, it means to be tender. And when you read the Bible, you're going to also see the word Nisan. And that's not talking about the car. But we got that word when we was in the Babylonian captivity. It changed from there, better yet. No, I'm sorry, Salaki. When we was in a Persian captivity. In the Persian captivity is where we had start picking up this. A lot of stuff we picked up from the Persian that y'all gonna find out too. Better yet, let's go to Esther 3:7. It's after Nehemiah. And they'd be like, where Nehemiah at?
This is the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 7. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is, the lot.
That's talking about what? Anybody know what they're talking about? They read that from. This is a key word.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 7. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur.
What came from pur? Pur. That's what we're talking about. So go ahead.
That is, the lot, before Hammon from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is, the month Adar.
Adar. It's talking about from month to month, meaning the beginning of the month, Nisan. We picked that up in Persia. It's the same as Abil, meaning the first month also. Actually, Nisan means green ears of corn. And what that means is when when the harvest came in, what? You went and checked the harvest and you seen the first green ears of corn, because we also get up some of our feast days when the shaving of the harvest. The beginning of the new year started when they went out and they seen the first ear of corn. When it was green. As soon as it's, oh yeah, it's about that time to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's about that time to harvest. That was the beginning of the year. And that letting you know that was planted, like our food was planted just prior to this
springing up.
Yes.
Harvest.
Yes. And remember what? The new year starting what? Spring. So yes, before that, so when you're in that other month before that, but that last part of the winter, the last rainy days, latter rain days. In fact,
do any brother or sister know anything about farming? Y'all know anything about farming? Why do you think during the winter time it'd be a lot of rain? This will be a lot of rain in the summer and the spring, because if you know anything about farming, they have winter wheat, and during winter wheat, guess what? That's how they see the first barley or the first seeds of barley coming from the winter wheat that they planted. So that's how they determine that, okay, spring is coming up. That means things is growing and it's going to fresh.
And that's why a lot of crops also wind up getting damaged from those late freezes that they have sometimes, where they got crops. The crops ruined. The prices got to go up. But like I said, it's called the winter rains. I don't know if y'all can see that, but right here, that's the 12th. You got the 12th, 11th, and the 10th month. That's Adar. So that would be like February, January, also into the December times.
And this is out of the Bible Atlas.
Yeah.
These books are very good for brothers to get if y'all like to get into the history, sisters as well, to get deep into those things, man. These things are perfect for that.
And those were the winter rains that fed your crops. So at the time of spring, you have food to eat. And think about it. The Most High, but like I said, if y'all think about how perfect this thing works, man, it's a perfection. It's the most beautiful thing I ever seen. It's just great, man. It's just perfect. Everything just all lines up with the Most High. Everything just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I gave you some rain. And we be talking about, man, it be that cold rain. I hate that. Boy, I bet you if you had some crops, you're going to be loving that. And I can't stand cold weather. But now look at this. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that cold rain. Because I'm finna eat. And I'm finna eat good because the crops going to be watered. Spring finna hit. When I go out there, that green corn going to be good. Like, boy, you sitting up there mouth watering, you know what I'm saying? You finna eat good for a while. That's how we going to have to go back to anyway. So I suggest y'all start getting your little boxes in your backyard if you don't got them. Get your little thing in your house, in your apartment. And grow something. Learn to grow something. Learn to put something and make it. Especially you men. Women, y'all can have babies and they can grow on y'all. We don't know. We don't know. Men don't know how to grow nothing. Unless we be taught. We need to learn how to grow. Where the other son at? Him? Well, he grow his hair. That mother rub his head all day long. I'm surprised you ain't got an afro. I saw you rubbing so much last week. But look, learn to grow something, man. Cause we gonna get some land, and we gonna have a garden, and y'all go work in the garden. Oh yeah, I know some of y'all learn how to work. I worked already. Now we gonna work. We gonna make it where we gonna do our own thing. We gonna grow something. It's a good thing to watch stuff grow, man. When you can actually plant something, then it come up. You like, yeah. Eat that one tomato and go on wait till next year. But grow something, man. Let's go. Where we at? Esther, did we finish that? Let's go to 1 Ezra 5 and 6. What month are we talking about? What's the other name for it? When is it? All right. Let's go. 1 Ezra 5 and 6.
When is it again? Mid-March, late March, early April.
Yep.
Make sure y'all write that down too.
March, you're right. March and April. Between those times. It'll barrage in no time. Spring.
That's right.
Right? Springtime.
End of March, early April. Last 2 weeks of March, first 2 weeks of April. Give or take.
In that area. It always kind of laying there. And like I said, in fact, better yet, get that paper that you had. I gave it to you. One I wrote on. Read the January. Read that. And read the January again. Go to that.
Changing the calendar and the beginning of the day. God tells us that the year begins in Abib, the month when Israel was brought out of Egypt, on the Roman calendar. That is in March or April, depending on the year. The primitive Roman calendar was able to convince most of the world to change the start of the year to the month of January.
It was able to convince most of the world. You got some people in the world, some places in the world still go by spring as being a new year. But they were, look, the Romans had so much control, they was convincing the rest of the world. Do as I do.
Remember, we want brothers to be thinking precepts. I'm going to read this again. The primitive Roman calendar was able to convince most of the world to change the start of the year to the month of January. What precept comes to brothers' head? Say it again, Brother Fred. Daniel 7:25. What you say, Brother Sammy?
No. Let's go to that. I'm going to show you why here's what he said. Daniel 7:25.
I understand what you're saying. But Daniel 7:25 hit.
But I'm way more. But don't give me that one if I'm on the street. Yeah, I want what Fred gives me.
Yeah, because he gets straight to the point. Brothers got to know that, man. Especially brothers that's been here for a couple years, man. Precepts should just be jumping off the pages when we read certain things, man.
I thought y'all were going to do like that when he said it.
Brother should have knocked that thing out of the park, man. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. Salaki. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
And do what?
And think to change times and laws.
You think to change times. You got to understand, this man, You gotta understand, the way the Most High got his order, the devil definitely trying to do his thing over there. He trying to look like he the Most High. So he's finna change everything that whatever God create, he's behind it. Let's go the opposite. He's the adversary. So Most High say the first month is what? A bib in spring. But what did he do? I'm gonna change that. Not only am I gonna change it, I'm gonna tell the whole world to change it.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and
He
laws.
said what?
And think to change times and laws.
So y'all can be confused about what time it is. What's funny is, boy, I used to love New Year thinking it was great. Oh yeah, I got a lot every year. Yeah, I'm finna stop this. I remember I'm threw all my beer out one day, boy. I'm done with this beer. Boy, that New Year went by. Next day, everybody at the park, I went and bought another case. New Year's resolution. Then they got you doing it in winter. That's why nobody ever can accomplish nothing. It's the wrong time. But they took it and made it in the middle of the winter. What happens in the winter?
That's right. Dead of winter, nothing grows.
You mow lawns. Your business go down in winter, right? Yeah, exactly. He ain't got nothing no more because it's dead. Trees dead. Go pick a plum in the winter and see if you get some out of it. Good. That was it on that. Let's go back.
Let me read the end. And
Okay.
they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times.
350 years. That was 1969. And that's another class. Let's go back. One word.
On this.
Yeah, read.
It says the primitive Roman calendar was able to convince most of the world to change the start of the year to the month of January.
Just like we read, changing of time. He said, change time. This is history, man. This is history. Then the Bible speaks about everything he done in the Bible. Go ahead.
As it is currently, it is with the Gregorian calendar.
Uh-huh.
Most of the months of the year are named after pagan gods.
After pagan gods. See, a bib was what? That's what? Nissan, green ears, sweetness. Go ahead.
But the Most High God called the days 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days.
Uh-huh.
The months 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't these names that we have today.
And like I said, a bib means to be tender. Then in that tender, then that what? When you look at the corn and it's green, that means it's what? Tender. It's at that time for it. It's about that time to
Start harvest.
it's the harvest. Yes. Then you had 15 days, which was the middle of the month. They came out, looked at the corn was good. They had the waving of the sheaf. And when they cut that corn down, that was at the time of Passover. And then that's like I said, then you use that time to count the Feast of Weeks. See how everything, the Most High does everything in order. Perfect. So when that Passover, you count that day, it's time. When that harvest come in, first of the year, we look and see that corn is ready. It's about that time. It's got that green, it's tender.
Like I say, Esau done mixed our people up so much, even when we ask brothers and sisters, what's the first day of the week? They say what? Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Our people so programmed, we say, brother, look it up on your calendar, then they feel like fools.
And be so, and look at it like, man.
It's so programmed.
No. Go ahead,
Let's go to Ecclesiastes right quick. Chapter 11. Because this is how we, like you say, this is going and talking about sowing the seed, but it's also kind of showing us how we can be swayed when we, like you say, when we're not thinking spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
When we get into this walk, we're supposed to be thinking spiritual, right? According to what? 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11 is telling us how we sow spiritual things, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's why, if you notice, everything the Most High does, it's all about your way of living, your food that you ate, a sowing and a harvesting. Not only that, sowing with the people out there that you talk to, sowing a seed and harvesting it, sowing a seed and he'll water it. Same thing what you do with the field. You sow a seed, God bring the rain to water your seed. Same thing, man. Perfection. Go ahead.
Read that up.
What you want?
Verse, chapter 11 and verse 4.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and verse 4. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap.
Did y'all see how King Solomon wrote this? He said, "He that observeth the wind shall not sow." So, like when you looking at these calendars, well, I mean, no, I'm not gonna go by that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go by what the Lord, how the Lord said. I'm gonna go by how I've been taught. Guess what? You want to go into that wind of doctrine? That's how you want to do. That's fine. That's you're not gonna be thinking spiritual. You're gonna be always thinking on the corner level with that. This is a spiritual thing. What I'm just trying to break down. Even though that's why he's trying to teach y'all brothers and sisters the calendar, because this is a spiritual thing.
Exactly.
You will not know your feast days if you do not think about how this calendar, how I'm just breaking these things down. And brothers got this is why he's asking brothers and sisters before the class, in the first beginning of the class, do you have your paper? Do you have your pencil? Because y'all need to know this calendar. So if you looking at, he said, he that observed the wind shall not, you ain't gonna never sow. Think about how a farmer do. When a farmer plants seed, if you get ready to plant some seed, and he put it in his tractor, and he go through the field. He like, no, that wind blowing too hard. There's gonna be seed everywhere.
Exactly. And that's another thing, worrying about other stuff. Besides doing what God told you to do. It's time to plant. I don't care what they got going on. I don't care what's finna happen. I know a man just went down there and killed a whole lot of kids, but that don't stop you from planting and doing what God told you to do.
That's right.
Period. Because like I said, if you gonna worry about the wind, if you going down there, you be like, man, I'm not gonna plant that, because if I plant them, if I get them seeds out, they're gonna blow off. Most I said, that's the time to plant. So you gonna worry about what the wind look like, or what I told you to do.
Read verse 4 again.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and verse 4. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap.
So when you regard the cloud, you're not going to reap. If you finna get ready, okay, the harvest is ready, and it's time for you to go get your harvest. And he said, well, it's too cloudy, it might rain. Guess what? You're not going to go out there in the field and do it, because you don't want your combines and stuff to get stuck, right? This is how a farmer think, right? We don't know, because you got a little bit more to it.
Verse 5. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit.
Because guess what? This is a spiritual thing. We don't know the way of the Spirit when the Most High God started. Because we just plant the seed. The Most High God got to bring the increase, right? Read.
Nor how the bones do grow in the womb.
How the what?
How the bones do grow in the womb.
Because the only thing a man can do is plant the seed. The Most High God grows the bones in the womb, man. Just how like when we plant the seed in the ground, he grows. If we plant a corn seed, he grows the stalk for you underground first before it touches the sunlight, right?
That's right. The Lord gives the increase.
That's right. Read on.
How the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all.
Because we don't know the works of the Most High God, man. But so that's why it's pivotal that brothers and sisters take heed to the calendar. Take heed to how I'll be breaking down, like you say, these months, these things matter. But it goes into the I know you're going to say something, but it goes into like the next, verse 6 goes into the very next part where Ogden was just touching on.
I want to hit that before you get
go
there.
Ahead, though.
This one right there, read that part again up here. The 5.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and verse 5. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit.
So we don't know how the Most High works. Go ahead.
Nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child.
He said, nor how. Now, women, y'all quit giving yourself the credit thinking y'all doing all this great thing because y'all have a baby in your stomach. Because ain't none of y'all putting no bones on that baby. You're not putting no skins on that baby. Y'all better give God that credit, man. Well, we growed up. No, you ain't did nothing. That man, only thing he did was put a seed in it. And the Most High doing the work. He doing the work. Not us, not him. You dang sure can't count on that man, because that nigga will be gone in tomorrow. He want all the credit. He ain't did nothing either. He ain't picked with sperm and made it. So we didn't keep getting ourselves any kind of credit. That's why the Most High said, they're my children. They're mine. Ain't nobody putting over now. Not one of us know how to make a bone. Who know how to make a heart? Anybody?
No, make a fingernail.
That. Make a hair.
Make one.
We can't. So let's give the Most High his credit and quit trying to take his glory. It's him doing all this stuff. I'll be looking at this, all men and black women, we fight all the time. Men is mad. No.
Baby. It's his baby. It's her baby. No, it's the Most High God's baby. Like,
And when we give the credit to the Most High, we'll start coming back as families in America, as black and Hispanics and Native Americans. We'll come back as a family. But we always trying to get the glory. Negroes getting the glory, they ain't did nothing but holding around. Women ain't did nothing but lay down.
and guess what? Like I say, the only thing we did, it felt good. It felt good sowing, and she felt good receiving the seed.
Yep.
One and the same. The Most High God does everything else.
And that's why I just wanted to hit on that. Keep going. Finish that out. Then he want to go to sleep.
Even so, thou knowest not the works of God.
He made it all. I mean, I don't want to hear, oh man, my bad. No, it ain't yours, ain't hers.
This is a good precept for brothers out there on the streets dealing with putting them brothers with that Egyptology, making women's gods and so forth. Y'all can write that thing down, man.
That's a good one.
Verse 6, in the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand.
So guess what? It said in the morning, we sow our seed. This is how our forming thing. And they talking about even withhold our hand, because guess what? It's going to be, the seed got to be watered, right? You still, guess what? Just because the seed is in the ground, you still
Got work to do.
right? We don't.
For thou knowest not whether shall prosper.
Because guess what? Even though you sowed that seed, you still don't know if that seed gonna come. You don't know if it's gonna come out the ground. We don't know. If the Most High God don't allow it to come up, it won't make it.
Man, and I done planted before, boy. I done put a whole lot of seeds in there. Man, I'd be happy to get a nice little road going down that mud sometimes. You go down that road, you'll have some right here, then there's a big gap missing right here, then there's some growing down there, because you never know what comes
And
up.
then guess what? And you can have some seeds just throwing out in the yard. Sometimes that one seed just comes
go
and
up, boy, and would grow all day.
because you don't know what the Lord wants to happen. Guess what? He told you to throw the seed out because he wanted to show you something. He let it grow. He's telling you, I control these things. If I want it to grow, it can grow.
I control.
Right?
Yeah.
Read that up.
For thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that,
Either this seed or that seed, read.
or whether they both shall be alike good.
So guess what? They both should be alike.
And that's what they call a good harvest that year, boy. They got that good harvest that year. That's when you see them when them farmers be happy them days when the winter got that harvest. There's more money in their pocket. That's that good harvest. The machine throwing all kinds of. That mother that's smiling, he just love, that big old tractor just smiling, bro. He used to drive them things, man. He used to drive them, go all that stuff to farming equipment. The long stuff that we see, all that, he used to drive that. That's why he know a lot about it. He always told me about it. Since I've been to met the brother, he been talking to me about farming, and I'm going, bro, I didn't want to play the garden. That brother be talking about stuff. I was like, yeah. See, they got these other machines, and they do. All right. I just need to know some seeds, and I need some dirt. I don't need all. He knew about all of it, so I learned a lot from him. Listening to it. But go ahead. Are you done with that?
Yeah.
Or where we at? Let's go to first edge. We do 5 to 6. First edge was 5 to 6. Yeah, we can do it. We did 3 to 7, right? Yes. Let's go to first edge was 5 to 6. Because not only that, another thing I want to say, because we came out of the Persian captivity, and from the Persian captivity we got the word what?
Follow.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
Lisan. Okay, come on now. I need a student that's ready, just ready to answer. But we got that. So after what's the next captivity? How about that one? Persia. No, we in Persia.
What's after
What's
Persia?
after Persia? Greek. So we took that word from where? From the Persians, and we carried that into what? Into the Greek captivity. That's what we're finna get to. First Ezra 5 and 6. And that way you know where these words come from, where they was picked up from, or where they originated, how we got them. Go ahead. Because this is normally us, this was the second month.
This is the book
I
of
mean, the first month. I'm sorry, it's a lot. Go ahead.
This is the book of First Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 6. Who spake wise sentences before Darius, the king of Persia, in the second year of his reign, in the month Nisan, which is the first month.
Which is what?
Which is the first month.
And this is the same thing. This is talking about Ezra at the time when they was in Persia captivity. I'm just letting you know that that's where you see these words at. So when you're looking at a bill, Nisan is the same thing. When you see it in the Bible, it means the first month. That means the what is that? The greenness of the corn and to be tender. And that will be in the springtime, the new year. Read January, the first, number one.
Changing the calendar and the beginning of the day.
Start.
Months. Most of the months of the year are named after pagan gods, emperors, or the number of the month from the first month of the calendar. January, from Janus, ancient Roman deity.
It's an ancient Roman deity. That's why they got you. Hey, January. They got these things named everything. The Monday through Sunday. Those names of their gods, man.
That's why they have, even on January, where they make a first year resolution. They have the gods to where it's looking forwards and backwards into the future.
Mm-hmm. Drop down to 3.
Number 3, March.
That's their January. That's what they call the first of the year. But go 3.
March, from Mars, god of war.
Mm-hmm.
Anciently, the Romans, along with most of the world, began the year in March.
So Mars, god of war, March was from the Mars, the god of war. But we know who the real god of war is. But they got you worshiping stuff, boy, we don't even know who we worship. We just run around here thinking then we give it, I was born in such and such. You gonna glorify that month. Forget that month. If you were a bill, I was born in a bill. When they asked, what's your birthday, a bill? The 23rd. See how they react. What? I don't know that zodiac. I don't do zodiacs.
They'll tell them the first month or the 7th month.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I was born in what was it? The 4th month? 21st. And that's I'm telling you, man, start giving them what they really need. And then I promise you, they'll start changing. Because then you don't pull you. I'm a Pisces. Not the way I count. We gonna go by what the Bible say. I promise you, you start changing in the world like this, they'll be looking. Yeah, they gonna look at you strange. You gonna be a strange looking character. That nigga gonna say he was born in a bill.
Real, man.
You gonna be talked about.
Do it again. You bitch, you better stop that bird.
No, that one has somebody over there.
Who did? I know.
Oh, yeah.
Especially while class going on. After class. Go ahead.
Did you finish that? Finish that.
Number 4, April.
No, I just need April because that's the same time.
April. Aprils. The earth opens for the growth of plants.
Mm-hmm.
May.
And see, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Now, read that again. I want y'all to see.
April. Aprilis. The earth opens for the growth of plants.
The earth opens for the growth of plants. Meaning what? Harvest time. They knew this. So what did they do? Change it. They knew it. Because at this time, this was what they, the Romans actually first of the year, before they changed the calendar, was actually in March and April. So they changed that. They changed that. That's on the other paper, but I ain't got to go through it. It's on that one, that other sheet. That was the original Romans time, was in March and April. So they knew it. Even if, because you look at the different, read April again.
Aprilis. The earth opens for the growth of plants.
The earth, they knew it was time for the harvest. But they got everybody and their mama running around here thinking January. Even though they knew. And it don't make no sense when you think about it. Like we said, everything did. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 6. We just go to Ziph. What's Ziph? Look. Look. Ziph. What's Ziph?
I don't know.
Let's been and I help him out.
Wait, the month in like almost time or
Who?
like September?
Wow. Somebody give me Ziph. Give me Ziph.
February. February, actually, it's the second month.
There we go. That's all I want to do. That's it. Huh?
Who said February?
I said February, but I meant the second month. I said the second month, though.
See, that's why we gotta constantly go over this.
That's right.
It'll start getting your mind on a different page. Cause like I said, after a while, my mind hardly even think. When it comes to when they call New Year, my mind is like I don't even consider it nowhere near it. Cause your mind gotta go into Abib. Abib is the beginning of the year. Passover. Just remember, it's time to Passover. You start remembering by these high holy days.
That's right.
And then like the month we finna go in, what day did we just have? Day of Simon. And what month is that? Ziph. What month is Ziph?
Second month.
There we go. Start adding this thing. Start making this a train of thought, man. Because he said renewing our minds. Coming out of the way of the world. When you said you ain't in the world, but you got to start getting out of the way they do things.
That's
And
right.
start getting your mind in the way God got you to do these things.
And that's the main reason why I brought out certain precepts, because I already knew when I got started, here you go.
Yeah, it's finna go. You know how it go. But that's how we gotta start thinking, man. And this is our life. I don't care what they doing. Your mind should be on this. But when they get there, this is what you should be thinking. Somebody say something to you, April, you should be thinking of bills. You get what I'm saying? This is how our minds need to change. Because we going to take it back here. I can promise you that. We going back to this.
Ziph falls on end of April, early May.
Uh-huh.
So y'all write that down as well.
There you go.
End of April, early May.
Let's go to 1 Kings 6:1.
This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Ziph,
Uh-huh.
which is the second month.
Which is the what?
Which is the second month.
Uh-huh.
That he began to build the house of the Lord.
That he began to build the house of the Lord. Ziph is the second month. And during this month is when we first started rebuilding the temple, building the temple. When we started building the temple. It started in this second month.
That's what. And if we looking at the spiritual aspect, on our second month, we should be doing what? Building our temple.
Building our praises, all praise.
We think it's spiritual, man.
I done had the Pentecost. Now we're in the second month right now. We should be building our temple up. Benaniah tell you that every week. And this is the time to start building your temple. And not that temple that we talking about, that temple that's inside you. Building your bodies up. Let's get back healthy as a nation of people, period. Let's start doing what we need to do with our bodies with the right foods and the spiritual but biblical truth that we need to be reading all the time. Start building our spirits up. Building our temples up. Inside and out.
Let me get another precept. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11. Hold y'all first king. Because like I said, this is what we supposed to be. Let's think about how the Most High God set things up. We physically built the temple starting in the second month.
Mm-hmm.
But we supposed to be, this is how we supposed to be thinking on a spiritual aspect, man.
Think about it. What did he say in the first month? We came out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So now when we came out of Egypt, now what do we have to do after we done came out of Egypt? Build our temple.
Big con. Oh, crazy. Read that out.
What you want?
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 11. If we have sown unto you spiritual things, it is a great thing that if we shall reap your carnal things.
Because guess what? Now, it's a great thing that we shall reap your carnal things. That means putting those things away.
Mm-hmm.
Because we looking on the spiritual side of this aspect. Jump up to verse 10 right quick.
Let me read verse 11 again, right quick. If we have sown unto you spiritual things, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things?
It's a question.
Man,
It's a
boy,
question.
if we have sown unto the spiritual, remember we talking about, he said, come up out of Egypt, right? Now we go into the second month. We're supposed to be what? Building our temple. What were we in Egypt? Carnal people, too. Just like this talking about. Go ahead.
Jump up to verse 10 now.
Verse 10. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 10. Or said he altogether for our sakes.
Read.
For our sakes, no doubt.
No doubt, read.
This is written, that he that ploweth shall plow in hope.
This is going into Deuteronomy chapter 25 also. So he that ploweth shall plow in hope. Right? Read.
And he that thresheth in hope shall be partaker of his hope.
So guess what? This is giving us an example. If you plant spiritual things, you should be expecting spiritual things.
Yes.
But if you planting carnal things, you should be expecting carnal things.
You're exactly right.
Read on now.
Verse 11. If we have sown unto you spiritual things.
So stop right there. So if we sown unto you spiritual things, read.
Is it a great thing
He
if
asking
we
you, is it a great thing, read?
if we shall reap your carnal things?
So should we get back y'all carnal things after we done gave y'all spiritual things?
That's right.
No doubt. Boy, that's like, boy, you'll trip out, boy, if you put an orange seed in the ground and come back, man, and you got bananas. You're like, say, man, hold on, this ain't what I grew. I wanted some oranges. And that's what the Most High said, man, if you sow spiritual thing, believe me, that's what you should be reaping.
That's right. So why you think brothers go so hard doing classes, trying to build brothers and sisters' spirits up? Because this is the time to be showing spiritual things, because we want to see spiritual things come out of the congregation, not just the carnal aspect of this thing. This ain't for nothing.
And that gives brothers and sisters every opportunity to do what? Examine themselves. You've been in this truth so many years and you're not seeing the fruits of your benefit, or that you're not growing in spirit, that means you're sowing carnal things. You just masking it as wearing fringes and a head wrap. That's all that you're doing. You covering those things up. So you really have to search deep in your spirit to guess what? Examine yourself, man. Go ahead, huh?
Yeah, because a lot of y'all been here, some of y'all should be growing to the point. Everybody in here should be able to teach somebody something. Something.
Or at least not teach, or at least be the example for people to see.
Exactly.
Like we say, you teach two ways, by word of mouth and by your actions. People seeing your actions, no, I don't want to be around her. People seeing your actions, no, I don't want to be around that brother. I'm going to stay over here. You know.
Years.
Yep. And then and no matter what, you should be able to cover yourself if somebody come and ask you questions.
That's right.
Because he said, study to show thyself approved. When you coming at that time, if somebody got a question, we supposed to answer all questions. So every time somebody got a question to ask, you supposed to be able to, hey, let me, either I know it, let me find it. Or if it should be right in me, let me, because when people ask me questions, boy, a lot of times, my mind be blank about a lot of scriptures, boy. They get to ask the questions and saying something. It popped. Let me get something so I can read that. I know what that said. I know what that said. I know what that said. And it start coming back to you. But you got to start, what? Planting.
That's right.
You got to start planting. Go ahead. Would you finish with that out?
I was, man. That thing
Do
was
any
going to
brothers,
the northern tribes. Go ahead.
do any brothers know a major event that occurred in the second month in the Bible?
We're going to get a couple of which one you think?
I don't know. I could choose a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. I got it. In fact, I got it right here. Finna hit. Let me get Numbers chapter 1, verse 1. Huh. Y'all gonna know this when I'm done. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt.
In the second month. This is that second year. This is the second month. Out of it, what happened? We came out of Egypt. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, man, the way you put that, boy. 'Cause we came out of Egypt. And now the temple was built in the second month. So now we're building our temple back up. Same way, same thing. And read that again, come again.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, which was what? Also, what high holy day was it? First day of the second month. It was a new moon. Brother Daniel said, oh, Brother Donovan said, oh shit. It was a new moon. When y'all reading in the scriptures and y'all see first day of the second month, of the third month, first day, those are new moon. It's not going to say new moon because Most High God is trying to program us to automatically think about those things.
Let's go to 18. Go down to 18.
Verse 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
Even when he declared us and put us in their family was on the second month. Because remember, they came out of Egypt. So now he's got them, hey, this is who y'all are, this is who you are, y'all try this, such. You get what I'm saying? And look, the word Zilph means properly brightness, the month of flowers. Because you got what? March and April, when the flowers start blooming.
Those bonnets on the highway.
Always, yeah.
Let me get another example real quick. Let's go to the book of Haggai. Hold your precept. Let's go to the book of Haggai 1 verse 1. I got it. This is the book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the second year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah. So this was a what? A new moon. So when y'all see that, when y'all reading in those Y'all see it, y'all can mark new moon right there. There's just another example.
Or just notice it, put it in your head that
Exactly.
that's what's going on when you see it. Some things you should lock in a lot of times when that's happening, that you already know that's what that is. Other people don't know, but y'all should be knowing. Especially given the information today. You should know. You should know. It should be something that becomes automatic. Y'all gotta make this truth automatic. This is supposed to be, this is your life, this is your culture, this is your heritage. Make it automatic. Learn your heritage and start doing it.
Yeah, what?
You know why? 'Cause, we be wanting to hold on to some of that stuff in the world, man. I told you if I can get to the point where I don't even want to wear no more. I wish I had the closet full of garments. Cause I don't even want to wear no more regular clothes. I want everything. I gotta go to work in the hole. Boom. They be like, what you got on? Be right out in the construction field with my blowing vest and a garment. That's how we want to be. I want my heritage back, man. Let's go. Where was we at? Did you finish that?
Yeah, numbers.
Oh yeah. Let's go to Yara asked the question. Ask the question again, Yara.
Said what major event in the Bible occurred in the second month? One of the major events. Separation
The temple was born, but we already spoke on
So we
that.
already spoke on that.
But hold up. Y'all know Solomon came thousands of years after Moses, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
He just gave y'all a clue.
Gave you a clue.
He just gave you a clue. He said Solomon came 1,000 years after Moses. What happened around this time?
Let's go to Genesis chapter 7, verse 11. They ain't gonna think about it. Them cats don't be studying them or they be sitting there looking at us. Am I pretty?
Y'all looking at me. Y'all looking
Look,
at
wait,
me.
man. Am I cute? Am I cute?
My crew. Yeah. Is that what it is? Cause every time I see y'all looking.
What you want?
7:11, Genesis.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 7 and verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month.
What happened, brother? I just want to see if y'all heard. Okay.
Don't beat to the punch.
Yeah, you got to, yeah, no doubt.
For real. Put them in the mind. Go ahead.
The 17th day of the month.
Hey, we want y'all to beat them to the punch. If y'all can beat, hey, we ask, go get it. Y'all be just, Go ahead.
In the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the foundations of the great deep broken up.
What was happening?
All the foundations of the great deep broken up.
Well, what was happening, y'all? Not 2-7. What was happening? What is this talking about? The flood. Okay, golly. Beat him to the punch. I didn't hear you can't whisper. I can't hear whisper. Say it, man. Okay.
Well, you know, y'all putting the brother on blast. He ain't gonna
If
speak
they
too
say
much.
Look, don't be scared to say something.
If you know it, you know it.
If you don't, you know it. It's okay. Even if brother give a wrong answer, that's okay. That's what class is here for. If we here to learn. I'd say a lot of times watching videos, I be saying something. No, that ain't. Oh, okay. Well, now I know the answer.
Exactly. Man, try it. Just try it, boy. That's why I like a little bit of Naya, boy. Boy, he might not know it sometime, but boy, he finna give you the answer, goddamn.
You better start getting them right, damn it.
That's what your dad
All the
say.
damn talks we be having.
But the fact of the matter, he is not ready. He ready to answer. Y'all need to be ready to answer. You're being so timid, man. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you finna learn it.
So windows of heaven is going into what?
Say it again.
Windows of heaven.
Windows of heaven.
Well, you get another count of that.
Going into the rain, right?
Just see if y'all put your mind on it.
Yeah, no doubt.
They told you open the store out what?
3 and 8.
Oh, praise Shalom.
Now let's go. Let me show y'all something else what happening this month. Put this in your head too. Let's go to 8 and 14. Cause y'all gonna learn a little something too. Because what happened? What happened at the first at 7-11? The flood started, right? Let's go to 8 and 14. 13. You want to start at 13? Let's go to 13.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 8 and verse 13. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry.
Listen, in the second month, what happened?
Right.
That's that. Look at that. You know how long that was? No. If it started in the second month and it dried up in the second month, that's a year. They was on that boat, man, for over a year, man. See how I said, y'all gotta think when you read and just look. Just think. If it started on the second month, then it wound up drying up on the second month, that's another year. That means it was a whole year went by. See, now you can start pitching what's really going on. You know, you can half of you think soon before the day was over with, the Negroes done fishing and went back home. Oh, that's some earth. Let's go. No, it was a process of time going on. You got to count for the time what's going on. You got to think. That's what I said. Look, it's a thinking man's game and a thinking woman's game. Just don't be reading. Because when you're reading, sometimes you're missing stuff if you're not paying attention to little detail. You got to pay attention to detail. No,
40.
right.
Yeah, 7 and 11.
And that's just a couple, like our brother said, there's a couple of things that happened in the second month. It is. As I said, but you gotta look at you gotta just pay attention. That's why I tell you all the time, pay attention to what you read, man. Take your time. You ain't gotta rush.
And then if you look at it on the spiritual, like you say, 40 days. It took them 40 days and 40 nights for the water to prevail to kill off all flesh. Guess what? That's the same thing. It took Moses 40 days and 40 nights to kill off all flesh.
And
Christ,
40 days
and 40 nights
to
to
kill off all flesh. Right, boy. That's all praise, man.
Any brother know the precept, how we know with the 30 days? I can't find my precept. Genesis chapter 8. Okay. See, I didn't take a good note. Thanks, sir.
Let's go and get the next month. Sivan is the next month. What is Sivan? What is that little bit like? Third month. S-I-V-A-N. S-I-V-A-N. And that also derives from a Persian word also. We got that word when we was in Persia, in the Persian captivity. In fact, let's go to Esther chapter 8, verse 9.
On the third month, put May/June. So your first month you should have March/April. Like I said, second month April/May. And the third month should be May/June.
Praise.
Which one?
Esther chapter 8. Well, I be seeing this brother here, boy, be working this Bible. I don't know how he do it, but boy, I'll be looking, I'll be like, how you find that? That boy don't even look like he go there. He's pulling apart, some of the papers there, some of them.
It's the good note taking, man.
Yeah, they keep it, boy. I told you, boy, we was on the streets one day, and Benaniah was teaching. The wind blew.
All the dead season.
Yeah, boy, they were blowing down the street. Ben and I were teaching the dude.
There's more than one.
Yeah, give me something. Hey, go get my stuff. He had the dudes running. The dudes he was teaching, he had them running. Everybody running all across the street to get his notes. But he was like, he told the dudes, shut up, let's forget this teacher. Go get my book, boy. It was funny because they stopped. And they all ran and went to get the thing. I said,
Little children and everything.
all of them, man. Everybody went to grab the picture.
Get what? Get what? Ben, now you know, let that mic go.
He kept going. Man. Give me back my book. Give me back my book. Got that book. Slid everything back in there. As soon as he got that mic up, went right back over there talking about that page go there, that page go there. I said, man, just get a new Bible. I can't.
I do got one.
Yeah, but I know
the
what
Bible.
you're
I'm gonna take apart with this.
Nah, you can't.
Wow.
What you want?
Let's go to Esther chapter 8, verse 9.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Saban.
Well, the what?
The month Saban.
In the 3rd month, in the month of Saban. Go ahead.
On the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants, and to the deputies of the rulers of the provinces, which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to their writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing, and according to their language.
And that's the thing about it is, one thing I did notice, we picked up a lot of stuff from the Persians. We picked a lot of stuff up from Egyptians. I guess because we was in second in command in Egypt. Well, they always had, they couldn't have did nothing without us anyway, in every one of them. They always had to use it. It was like, but I noticed a lot of stuff we kept in Persia. Maybe because they had us, one of our women as a queen. Let's go to Exodus 19 and 1.
Side note history thing. What happened while when he was reading it? Now go back. What happened? I want to see who knows. When he just read Exodus 89, what happened during that time? Haman had just got hung. You read up a little bit, it tell you Haman had just got hung.
There you go.
During the feast of what? During what? This is going towards what?
Which is what?
Purim. Going towards the feast of Purim.
We read it earlier. Yeah.
Brothers got to know them high holy days, man. Like we say, any brother or sister, y'all know what y'all weaknesses and strengths are. Like we say, I tell brothers and sisters many times I had to go over Paul's writings in the 7th chapter at least 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
You take your time, get the understanding. We know everybody got a learning curve; they learn at their own pace. But you have to literally take the time to build yourself up and keep going over it time and time again.
But see, everybody might have a learning place, but one thing, everybody can take their time.
That's right.
But that's what it really takes, man. For you just be careful what you read and start going to think about it. Okay, if that happened at that time and this that time, I need the years. You got to be where you want y'all know where y'all are in the world. You want everything in the world. You need to be wanting everything in this Bible, in this scripture. I want it all. I want to eat the whole roll, man. I don't want no nibbles. Stomach too big for nibbles.
Remember, brothers and sisters, this is a what? This is a marathon. This is not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers trying to sprint to know all the precepts. Brothers, thousands of years of precepts in there. You're not going to learn it overnight, man. I mean, that's just impossible to do, man.
And when you do learn them, you be right out in the street talking about, what's that precept for?
Hey, even the best brothers still do it, man.
Man.
So, come on.
Like that time, boy, Moses over there asked me, hey, what's that precept? I was looking at him like, what? And you talking about a precept king, boy. I'm talking about that brother knew every precept to everything, boy. And then he turned around one day and said, hey, what's that precept for? I'm looking like, man, I can't tell you if you don't know. I know I don't know if you don't know. Let's go to Exodus 19:1.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 1. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai.
They what?
They came into the wilderness of Sinai.
In the wilderness is when they went into the wilderness in the 3rd month. And just letting you know a little something significant that happened. Give me that, go back to the other sheet too.
If you think about what he said, the first month was what? When he took us out of Egypt. Second month he did what? Declared the pedigrees and the fathers and stuff right there.
And then
And the third
and a
month.
new temple.
What you say, Brother Sam?
And a new temple.
No, remember, they built the temple in Solomon's time in the 2nd month.
Not Moses' time.
Yeah, spiritual.
But hold on, I'm going to show you. Go ahead.
But in the 3rd month they did what? They went into the wilderness. So and
Hold on. Let me show you something out. They get tried now.
you get tried.
Remember, you're supposed to be renewing your spirit.
Your spirit's supposed to get renewed in the 2nd month. By the 2nd month.
And
3rd
now
month.
you finna go to this fire to get tried. And everything that ain't gold is getting burnt off.
Why you think what you think will happen? Like you say, you tell brothers and sisters. Right after Passover, 1st, 2nd, 3rd month,
You start
4th month, you'll see brothers.
They going in that trial. They getting tried. And it happens every year, man.
And
It happens every year, man.
Somebody got, man, and all of a sudden these spirits, they way up here now. We just sit back and we look. You think we don't see what brothers and sisters do? Get what? Captains don't want to be in y'all business, but y'all show us what y'all do every time. Guess what? We don't go to y'all. Y'all come to us, then we got to go to the scripture. Simple as that. Ain't nobody trying to run y'all life. The Most High God, gets between you and the Most High God. But guess what? Don't think the Lord ain't going to try you. You don't think that we're going to sit there and play the game. We're going to go to the scripture, better you can hear it from there. Right?
All praise.
Go ahead, Al.
That was good. That's it on the Savon. What's Savon?
3rd month.
3rd month. What happened in the 3rd month? At least one thing. Oh, he went into the wilderness. So now we done did that. We done came out of Egypt. Now we done what? Renewing our temple. Now we finna go get tried in this wilderness. Boy, this is boy.
That's spiritual.
Man, I'm learning. I said I learned so much. I'm going along with it.
It's spiritual, man.
Word.
Yeah, it's spiritual. I guess it's like I could say it's spiritual. Let's go. Next month. Let's go. Jeremiah. This is the 4th month. The 4th month has no name. Because you gotta understand, none of these months had names. They was all 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Well, except for Bill. Those names was in the Old Testament out of our people. Like I said, those, yeah, some of them had them, but then, like I said, I'm giving y'all ones that are named because they are in the Bible, and we did use them. But all these names did not come from our people. Abib and Adar, definitely. For sure.
When is the 4th month?
June and July.
Write that down.
That's just gonna help you to transform from saying the month to saying the earthly Gregorian calendar. Saying our word.
No, we can read.
February.
February.
Yeah, that's what I said. February.
Changing the calendar and the beginning of the day. February from February's, because Roman purification was held on the 15th of that month.
See, these are things that they changed when they changed our 2nd month to February. And just read that again.
Because Roman purification was held on the 15th of that month.
The 15th. That was Roman purification month. Read the 3rd, March.
March from Mars, god of war. Anciently, the Romans, along with most of the world, began the year in March.
See, most of the world began the year at that time. And then, so here come Esau. Changing everything. Read.
April from Aprilis. The earth opens for the growth of plants.
And we went through that one, May.
May from Maya, goddess of growth or increase.
Goddess of growth or increase. See, they knew in times of harvest. Because they was planting the same time we had to plant because that's when you had to plant. Otherwise, you going to be starving. So it's things that they knew. Is it that they changed it? Go ahead.
June, from the Latin word Janu, Junus, goddess of Juno.
Goddess of Juno.
This is the female reproductive power of the Roman state and part of the triune or threefold system.
There you go.
July, from the Latin word Julius, named after Julius Caesar. August, from Augustus, a Roman emperor. September, from the Latin word septem, meaning 7, because it is originally the 7th month in the Roman calendar.
Did y'all know that at one time, during the time of Julius Caesar, that they had got off in the calendar to make it stop keeping up with the calendar. Julius Caesar, after he came back from fighting the Germanians, he went back and was like, when he jumped in and got in the office, he went back to have to go back and change the calendar. I mean, set the calendar back the way it's supposed to be. That's how lazy the Romans got. They got to the point they just stopped caring about the calendar. Period. Then you had kings that came in. Why you got 31 days? Because you had kings that would come in. It was the month of their birth. Well, they would take a day from this month to try to make this month better than that month because I was born in this month. So they would take a day from one month over here and put it here. And they would take a day over here. When another king come up, they take a day from there, they put it there. That's why you have the 31 days. And then February, somebody just stealing all the February. I guess one of them born in February. They just take, well, none of them was born in February. They take another one. So February was one of the shortest months. But that's how they got to where the days was being taken for the king. Those other months were made up. If you notice, a lot of these names were named after, like I said, that was July. Julius Caesar. They were named after some of them. And then, those, like the other names, January, February, and January, February was added on months. That because they actually started in March, and we'll see later on when we go down here. So we had September. Let's go to Jeremiah 39:1.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 39 and verse 1. In the 9th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 10th month, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army against Jerusalem, and they besieged it. And in the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, the 9th day of the month, the city was broken up.
The what?
The city was broken up.
Anybody know what was going on at this time?
In what year?
This is the first siege.
What year, Brother Charles?
We got siege twice.
Who know what year?
What, 17?
The first. Say it again, Brother Samuel.
586 BC.
586 BC. This is when the Babylonians came and destroyed Jerusalem.
Hold on, let me get something else, because we had 2 sieges when the Babylonians came. Remember, the first one was 597, 598 BC. Then you had a 9 or 10 year span between that before the second siege came. The second siege was 586 BC. 597, 598, 597. Because you're going to see that when they come back a second time, it's going to be the 9th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. When they come and knock everything down. In fact, when they come and knock and take us totally over, burn down the walls, burn down the temple, it's in the second siege. So the first one is about 9 to 10 years before the 586. They seized us in the first one. Then they was over us for the next 9 years. Then they took everything in 586 and we was out of there. Y'all get it? The history lesson, but we're gonna get a little into it anyway. Read that again.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 39 and verse 1. In the 9th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 10th month, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army against Jerusalem. And they besieged it. And in the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, the 9th day of the month, the city was broken up.
See, that's when they broke it up. It's broken up. They hadn't taken total control of us yet. Because there was 2 sieges over on our city. The first one, and this one, that's 597, 598, so 598, 597. So write that down.
Because even like August going into, they took us in waves. The first wave was what? The prestige, meaning the kings, the powerful people. The second wave was the people that had skills, like the laborers, the armorers, the painters, people that sculpted jewelry and so forth. And then the third wave, they took the poor.
Yes. Yeah. And let's go to Jeremiah. Stay at Jeremiah. Let's go to 52 and 6. Let's say the same thing at this time. We're talking about the exact same thing. That's when they were in captivity.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 52 and verse 6. And in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, the famine was sore in the city, so that there was no bread for the people of the land.
See, that's when they besieged us at the time. Left us famine at the time. They hadn't taken us totally, though. And that's what they're talking about. They said there was famine in the land. They done took everything, but we still in there roaming around. All right, let's go. That's the 4th month. Let's go. Read 7.
Verse 7.
Because it said the same thing it was saying earlier.
Then the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled, and they went forth out of the city by night, by the way of the gate between the 2 walls, which was by the king's garden. Now the Chaldeans were by the city round about, and they went by the way of the plain.
So that's when they let you know we was besieged at this time. And this is right, that was in the 4th month. That happened in the 4th month. Because you got to understand, even though, like the brother was talking about, we got the 40 years, we went acting right, we was besieged. Same thing happened to us in the wilderness after 40 years, didn't it? Only 2 of them made it. Let's go to the next month. Now, let me get one more. Ezekiel 1 and 1. Anybody know when Ezekiel was in captivity?
Babylon.
Okay.
Remember, Ezekiel and Jeremiah walked in the same times. Most High God had many prophets walking in the same times.
Ezekiel chapter 8. I'm sorry, I said 1 and 1. 8 and 1.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, and verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord fared there upon me.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. Who is this describing? Say it again, the Most High. This precepts with what? Revelation chapter 4, verse 3.
And Daniel.
And Daniel, thanks, sir. And who, brother, Captain Jeremiah, what's that? Okay, yeah, Daniel's 10. Read on up.
Yeah.
Verse 3, and he put forth the
I'm sorry, it's like, man, it is 1 and 1.
All right.
Nah, I was wondering I was looking confused, like, why they talking about the 6th month? Nah, it's 1 and 1.
Make sure brothers and sisters had a precept down for the description of the Most High.
What precept he say?
So brothers got to have them precepts. Like we say, people think that the Most High God is a puff of smoke. So It's very important that we show the description.
And that's 3 different witnesses that you just named
Ezekiel.
off. 1 and 1. Yeah,
Name
that's
the
8.
soul
That's
right
8.
here.
We're gonna go back to it. That's 6 months. I just
Make sure y'all have them things on did. Y'all know we bring out color scriptures every week, man.
You know what better
Yeah.
yet?
What's up?
Let's go to 2 Kings 25 and 8. I don't need to beat Ezekiel. That's the 4th one.
2 Kings chapter what?
25 verse 8.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 25 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
The book of 2 Kings chapter 25 and verse 8. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. So what day is this, brothers? And in the 5th month, on the 7th day, well, we really don't know.
Oh, wait, Shabbat.
We don't know.
What's that?
We don't know.
No.
We don't know.
Go ahead. I got something good for him.
And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem.
Now, here, what's happening at this time? Anybody can tell me. Go ahead, read.
Verse 9. And they burnt the house of the Lord, and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Every great man's house burnt he with fire. And all the army of the Chaldeans that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about.
Now, this time, what was happening now? This is the destruction. This 586 right here. 597.
Fire part of it.
This is the final.
We'll go into it.
Yeah.
From chapter 24, chapter 25, this, if brothers and sisters have not read this, this is a good read. It's showing you how they took us in droves. Third waves.
Yeah, because they was all going to, even if you look at them, they was even taking the prophets in different times. They wouldn't all just took Jeremiah at this time, Ezekiel, because they said Ezekiel was taking in, 597. I think Jeremiah came later.
I'm going to read it right quick. This is the book of, I did a class on this. Brothers and sisters, go back and watch that. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 24, and verse 14. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land. And he carried away Jehoiakim to Babylon, and his king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the mighty of the land. Those carried he into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon. Verse 16, and all the men of might, even 7,000 craftsmen and smiths, 8,000, all that were strong and apt for war. Even them the king of Babylon brought captive to Babylon. So he's showing you how he's taking them in wave, and like we said when we read 25 and 8, like we said, that was the last of it when they burned down the wall.
And the second wave, because how I got it written down in my Bible, I got that written first wave.
Uh-huh.
The second wave was on 25 and started verse 1. Kind of went down a little bit. Then the third wave, like I said, it was 25, verse 8. So you're right. First wave, second wave, third wave. So you can be able to make sure y'all write these things down. I know it's good, write on your paper, but write in your Bible. First wave. 25, 1 on down to pray probably about. First wave, you just read what?
14 down to, 14 down to 17. Or 14 down to 16. Like this.
25,
Yeah.
Y'all got that?
The third wave was chapter 25 and verse 8 on down.
Like I say, brothers it really should have been started from 24:3, kind of went all the way down.
Chapter 24, chapter 25. Verse
Just read it, you got it. Show you the way from 24 and 25.
And not only that, also you can also go look up the prophets in the time that when they were captive. Because I got books on that. About all of it. But it tells you when not all of them was always taken at the same time. They were taken at different times. Into the Bible.
That's how they assure us there's a nation period. What they do, they always take our host or the strong man first.
Then they start bringing everybody up.
Cut the head off.
Kill the head by that die.
They were saying 13 and 14, they left before.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
And that's like even if you look
And
at
the
like the movie,
fugitives.
like the movie Roots, when Kunta, which was O.J. Simpson at the time, you know, they was taking the strongest, the biggest, the elite men were the first one they was taking. Because now, guess what? You done left a whole people without a head. So now it'll be easy for us to come back and get the head. Get the rest of the people. Why? Because they don't have no. If you imagine if you done took all the top people out of Israel. Now that's easy for me to go back and get the rest of them. They poor, and they ain't sitting. And the people don't be scared because why? The head is gone. The military man gone. So there ain't gonna be no struggle. Y'all better come on, and they coming. Makes it easy. Boy, I tell you, man, why they done the same thing, same MO, man. Let's go to let's get to the next month. This next month, what's the name of it? Who?
What number? It's about month.
The name of it. What's the name of the 6 month? Little bit of night, what is it? What is it?
You just said it.
Elo. Say it louder.
Elo.
Wake your brother up.
E-love. Said the bird.
Sit up, bro. You back there too. I told you I'm talking to both of y'all after this class, for sure. Elul, E-L-U-L. 6 months. The 6 month. E-L-U-L. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 8. There we go.
It'll be what, from August to September.
There you go. Ezekiel chapter 8, 1 through 6. What we was reading earlier. This is where I needed it at. I got the wrong Ezekiel. Nah.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Yes,
And it came to pass.
Second Ezekiel.
And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell there upon me.
Go ahead.
Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward.
So that what was that describing? Yeah. What's the other precept? Okay.
And from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head.
When did this happen? Is it happening in the month of what? Now, what was going on with here? This is when the Most High showing is revealing itself to Ezekiel. Ezekiel was in the Babylonian. Go ahead. So he did this in the 6th month. So these visions about it, he finna give him, and what you're going to be reading throughout come from at this time when Ezekiel started getting the word of the Most High. Go ahead.
And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head. And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven. And he brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy.
How do y'all think that Ezekiel was taken at this time? You say he took him by the what? You saying like that? How do they transport these people?
Slave ship.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 4. And I looked, and I behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber.
Hold on, Sammy, be quiet. What is that?
Chariot.
There you go. He would beam me up, Scotty.
I thought that you said this 79 was the most high day between 6 and
Yeah, you brothers probably said it, but yeah. Yeah, you already know that.
I think that we said 7 and 9. I know I heard something.
Yeah,
I didn't say anything.
Well, you lost one of
yeah, you know, brother, maybe just saying it,
When
but
he said-
7 and 9 is
Say it
the
loud,
most high.
not 7
10 and 5 is Christ.
So if somebody said it wrong, just hey, no, that's 7 and 9, and then that way we like, okay, yes, you're right. But now when we go back to Ezekiel, do y'all understand that? Y'all didn't understand what was just happening. Read that again in Ezekiel 1.
This is the
Now-
book of Ezekiel.
Let me show you something first. Let's go back to Ezekiel 8.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year.
Now go to 3. Go to 3.
Verse 3. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of my head.
Now he said he put forth the form of a hand and took him by a lock of his hair. Then he pulled him up. Look.
verse 2.
Verse 2. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire.
As the appearance of a likeness, as the appearance of fire. Now listen to what's going on. I want y'all to pay attention. Because this is how you got to understand when y'all reading this Bible. Take your time. Make sure you get the picture. Make sure you know what's going on. Don't just by this. Oh, that sounded good and go by. I should do that. I know a lot of y'all do the same thing. And to be like, I don't even know what it's talking about. I just move on to the next. Till I find something I can see what they're talking about. No, know what it's talking about. Learn. If you don't know, get questions. Write them down. Come and ask. Man, what this thing talking about? I don't know what that's talking about. But don't just move on and not know. You want to know. Know something. Know it. Y'all, we want to know it all anyway. Know the Bible.
Know that. Know that. You
Verse
wanna know
2.
so much, know that.
Knowing this first.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 2. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire. From the appearance of his loins even downward, fire. And from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber.
Now hold on. Now listen. As the color of amber. What is that amber? We be seeing them when they be showing you. Be seeing them look amber lights looking up there. It look amber. They even describe it as an amber color.
Amber is just a representation of brown.
Yes.
They're just showing you that
glowing light, that pretty light. And then he said he would. He was lifted up by his what? His locks. What happened? Because white men claim they get done this all the time. I was abducted. No, dang on well. If they abducted you, that's because they figured, yeah, they messing you up and putting you back on the earth. You go kill some niggas. I want them to start looking uphill. But other than that, these are our people, man. And this is the same thing. UFOs is what this is talking about now. Now go back to Ezekiel 1, what you read. Now you're going to understand what he's looking at. See, they ain't got the cameras y'all got. They don't got telescopes. They don't got the news that we got. They got to look at stuff they ain't never seen, that in the future that they never seen, that was before them. They don't know how to describe it. This is the way he describes it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1 and verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came up out of the north.
This is a whirlwind came up out of the north, coming from above. It's a whirlwind. What's coming through? Something spinning. A chariot. There you go, read.
A great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it.
That's what they got. What we'll be seeing all the time. Bright lights up in the sky. When you go home and watch the UFO video. It's a brightness. Then you go see amber. The same thing he described it. The exact same thing. He's seen it. I can imagine what they thought. We be tripping and we know what planes, we got all kind of stuff flying in the sky now. They ain't had nothing but birds. And here all of a sudden something coming down. Go.
Verse 4. And out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Verse 16.
No, go ahead.
The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl.
Of what?
Like unto a color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness. And their appearance and their work was as if it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
Down. Sister, did you get that? You see it now? Y'all see it now? A wheel in the middle of a wheel. And it's a bright light. Got amber. It's got colors that's just beaming off of it. It's that bright light. What is that? You see what I'm saying? Now y'all see what he's saying. So now it's telling you this thing right here, it's what picked Ezekiel up off the ground. What do we call that? Beam me up. What do we say? David, beam me up, Scott. He was beamed up. And he was taken to another place. Boom, zoom, zoom, zoom. Drop him back out. That's how fast the Most High uses that. Why do you think them people flying around the F-14, the fastest things on the planet, faster than the sound of light, and they get blown out? Something go phew, right by them.
This is the best that we can see. You see the wheels within the wheels. Damn it.
Update your phone. There you go. See how they looking at stuff that they got to describe that we can be able to get a better description because we got things that can do that. They never had anything or seen anything, so they got to give you the best description that they can get, that they can give you.
And like we say, even with this, like we say, you see the wheels. We know that they normally flat, but they always have them showing them up. But you can see with the wheels within wheels folding in and out of itself. And like we say, the chariots, when you read the book of Ezekiel, the chariots, the angels and the chariots, they are one. Y'all know if brothers seen Black Panther, how the sister was flying the spaceship with her mind. A lot of that stuff, they based that off of the scriptures. Like we say, whatever the angels think, that's what the chariots do. They can fly in mountains, they defy physics, so they can do whatever.
And like I said, I remember one of the military guys was saying that when he was out and he was flying, and he said he looked over, and not only did he see the ship or the spaceship, but he seen a black man on top of the ship, standing outside of the ship. And he was, boy, I can imagine what he scared. He was probably scared that mud. He was probably just, and it was a Japanese pilot. He said when he looked, he said not only was the thing flying that fast, he looked and there was a black man standing on it. on it. He riding it. Just the angels just with it. I ain't even going inside. I'm chill up here.
Get out of here.
I'm gonna read this verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Whether their spirit to go, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels, meaning they are one mind, one accord. Whatever the angels thinking, that's what the chariots do. Like you say, they defy physics, they defy gravity, they can go at innumerable speeds. That's why they just had the UFO convention thing at Congress. They just had that like last week because there's been so many stuff that they got to make a report about it. It's nothing they can do about it.
Let me give y'all another account because this wasn't the only time. Go to Bell and the Dragon right quick. We're gonna start at verse 32.
Boy, I remember when we first started, boy. I remember you must have read Bill and the Dragon so many times. I love that.
Because it described so many things that I was reading. I was like, dang, this book. Go to Bell and the Dragon. Now, watch. This is going to be another account how the angels teleported somebody from one place to another place.
What you want first?
Start at verse 30. You start at verse 33.
This is the book of Bel and the Dragon, page 112, verse 33. Now there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers.
So he was bringing it to the people that was reaping the crops that he had reaped.
But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, Go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den.
So the angel told Habakkuk to carry this food that he had made. Now take this over there to Daniel in the lion's den, right? Read.
And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon.
So he said, man, I've never even been to Babylon. I never saw that before, man, right? Read.
Neither do I know where the den is.
So he said, if I ain't never seen the place, I don't know what the den is, Lord. Read.
Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown.
So he took him by the what?
Took him by the crown.
Going into the same thing. He took him by his head like he palmed his head. Go ahead.
And bare him by the hair of his head.
Read.
And through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den.
Sal, put him right. Yep.
Right here. That's teleporting the same way. This is how the chariots do. The Most High God sent the order, they're going to go pick it. Like they're going to come pick us up too. They're going to, hey, I ride outside. This ain't no whoop. This ain't no lift.
For real.
These are chariots. They.
And that's what he said when he said, when he telling them,
Y'all can put, just let y'all know Habakkuk was what? The poor of Israel. Because he was still left there. Habakkuk was poor.
like the twinkling of an eye.
We can read there. Verse 35, and Habakkuk said, verse 37. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which God had sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God. Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat. And the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately.
And he said how we was going to be in them chairs, like a twinkling of an eye, immediately.
Boom, boom.
Boom.
Carry the road. So it's like you say, these things, he's giving an account that brothers and sisters can go back on and they can read. Okay, this is how the chariot pick it. They pick you up wherever they going. They can be right there, no matter how far they go. They ain't like like maps and stuff.
Yeah, because they already said like when you going into the how they gonna be trying to chase them in the F-14s. That mother gonna be gone. That ain't nothing. Not only did we leave, we didn't make no noise. That's
We'll say ain't polluting the air with all that engine smoke.
None of that, man. No, none of that. No chemtrail behind, no none of that. Probably ain't use gas. Ain't no jet fuel in this one, baby. None of that. What is that? What you got? You got lights.
It's that holy fuel.
Yes. Go ahead. Let's go to the 7th month. Hold on. I want to put y'all, write these down. I'm not even going to go through them, but write them down in the 6th month. Haggai 1-15. Nehemiah 6-15. Hold on. Slow fingers. Haggai 1-15. Nehemiah.
No, abbreviate that thing. Haggai, H-A-G.
Yes.
Nehemiah, H-E.
6-15. First Maccabees.
First Mac, M-A-C.
14. That's a 1 and a 4. 2 dots. 2 and a 7.
Hey man, guess what? And half the people don't know how to spell Nehemiah and Maccabees.
That's
Spell
what,
the word no way.
you know what's funny? You know
Why
why?
y'all acting like, hold on, like you know how to spell Nehemiah right and Maccabees now.
I started writing them out on my notes so I could learn and make sure I start spelling them wrong. But one day, boy, I tried to spell it. Boy, I said, that's too many L's in there.
I've been misspelling these words for years.
That's why I started making sure I started learning them. I started writing them out.
That's why I abbreviate.
Oh, that's darn good. That's
Tell you
wrong.
what, we gotta write my Nehemiah. You don't know what that is, but I know what it is. You got to,
I've been wanting to spell it right, so I just write them out. Just write them out. When you get home, write them out. Don't abbreviate them.
I don't even know how to spell Ezekiel. I know I got it.
You know, easy.
Well, I got it.
Let's go to the 7th month. Let's go to the 7th month. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23. Everybody should know what this month is. What month is that?
Damn. September, October.
Get them the for the last month. 6th month.
6 months, August, September. 7 months, September, October.
Okay, that's Leviticus. The Heathen means a permanent brook, meaning a permanent stream. That's what he said. When you do these laws, statutes, and commandments, your belly should be full of what? Living water. A permanent stream. That's what a thana means. A permanent brook, meaning a little stream. A stream of water. Keep this command in your belly shall flow with living water. That water they be rejecting down there, boy. They take that old corner water, boy. But when it comes to that real living water, they don't want to hear that. Well, that's what they really need. We're going to go to Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
Hey, what?
A holy convocation.
Go to 27.
Verse 27. Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Go to 9. Go to 9. Verse 9. Same chapter.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 9.
No, I'm sorry. I must have selected you. Don't worry about it. What I need y'all to do. Okay. Leviticus 16 and 29. Leviticus 25 and 9. Because one thing about this month, this is our most busiest month. We got what? The memorial blowing the trumpets. We have the Day of Atonement. And then we have the what? We have the new moon also. This is the memorial blowing the trumpet same day. And we have what? Feast of Tabernacles. Go to 41.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year.
There we go.
It shall be a statute forever in your generation.
Forever.
Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
So y'all better go get some cabin equipment.
Verse 42, ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. That are all that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths.
Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to be out there at this camp at this time.
Because it's preparing you for the wilderness.
So yes.
The bugs, I don't want to sleep on no sleeping bag.
Yeah, all this old stuff. Y'all, man, y'all act like these houses gonna be up here forever. Y'all better get used to it.
And you ain't
Insects.
for real. You complain it to
Yeah,
me.
like Sister Jennifer brought them crickets the other day. I don't think these might not have no season on them. Right?
Get what? And we complaining to men, but you're not complaining to me. You complaining to the Most High.
Uh-huh.
He hears our murmurs. What you think we read Exodus and Leviticus, how we was murmuring and complaining? You think you said it to him, and the Most High God said, "Yep, the angel right here." What? No, you can't tell the angel I was just playing. He wrote it down.
I'm going to tell you, a lot of people, especially a lot of sisters, a lot of brothers too, they ain't going to fear until they see some heads roll. Then people going to want to get straight.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we ain't got no power, so sisters don't fear, brothers don't fear. Them niggas just playing. Like, it ain't us, it's the word. But like we say, when you see Christ just line 10 up at him at one time, he ain't finna lose no energy. I'm swiping 10 at one. Next 10 come up. Like we say, we have to be able to check those murmuring and complaining spirits. Instead of murmuring and complaining, why not bring solutions to the thing, to the problem?
And get right when he come back from Boston.
Boy,
Then they be like, oh, whoa. He
Going to die.
for real, yeah.
so we know, brothers and sisters, got to check that spirit, that rebellious and complaining and murmuring spirit, man. Go ahead, Doc.
And that, did I give y'all Nehemiah 8:14? And I want to get, I just, those y'all put them down. Now, we're not going to go through, I do want to go through this one, though.
But I want.
You want one?
Let me say something right quick. If you look at, we talked about the first month, talk about the second month, what happened in the second month, talk about happening in the third month. Fourth month, guess what? He started talking about it. You see how he started going into the captivity. The seventh month, guess what? He gave us another opportunity to renew our spirits again for the Day of Atonement. We reading these things, but guess what? We really have to take into account of what is. When you breaking down the calendar and you going into, you really got to take into account that thing. The Lord setting this thing up for a reason.
Exactly.
This ain't for no game. This for a reason. That we may look upon these things. Guess what? The things are written the things are written aforetime, or what was written for our learning. That we, through patience and comfort of the Scripture, might have hope. This is our lot, man, and we cannot walk away from it.
I'm trying to go through there, and we're going to go through straight out. Good job, because this is telling a story. When you do the children of the names of the children of Israel, then what they mean, they tell a story. I'm going to do a class on that. It tells a story. Y'all don't, the names and the meanings of those names for every tribe is telling y'all a story. And y'all ain't get spiritually minded, man. When you reading this Bible, it's a spirit thing going on.
The months tell a story.
The days tell a story.
Our holy days tell a story. Guess what, man? Just on a smaller note, man. Your lineage tell a story. Your lineage tell a story. The people that you descend from, they tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Why when we talk about Christ, why they always reference King David? It tells a story.
It's telling you to go back and get that to understand what I'm talking about. Boy. Let's go. Genesis chapter 8, verse 4. We on the 7th month still. What's the name of the 7th month? Heathen. What does it mean? There you go.
What you want?
We'll give him the.
September, October.
Oh, you already did that. Go ahead. Genesis 8 and 4.
This
I'll give you something a little significant on this day.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 8, and verse 4. And the ark rested on the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
Now, the ark, this is the day the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day. Now, remember the earth? Remember when now that it came back? Remember the flood came? Then the land started to show up. Remember they sent the dove out. But still the waters wasn't drawn back enough. So you got to 7 months later, then what happened? Now they receded enough to where now the boat is rested on the land now.
6 months.
Because just because it was on the just because the water's drawn, just because you can see the top of the mountain, don't mean that's where you want to go camp. Gonna roll your butt right into the ocean. And that's in Turkey. They found that in Turkey. That's in Turkey. Write that down.
Guess what? And like you say, on the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, what high holy day would we be in right now during that time? No.
17th day of the month.
The tabernacle. We would be in the tabernacle.
And then
The atonement is what? What day of the month on the 7th month? The 10th day. It's supposed to be it's the 10th day of the 7th
yeah.
month.
And not only that, when you're out there in the wilderness, it makes you remember who you really was. See, because we all a lot of times we captivated by living in these houses that we always in. We don't remember how we really used to live when things were like that. So being in that wilderness, what was Jacob? Chilling at the tent. That's the same thing. We went back to what our forefathers started out. That's a remembrance, man, and it's bringing you back. Go back, like you said. Remember the days of old.
Like we say, even on this, they hide it in plain sight. I know a lot of times we may think, well, dang, wouldn't the Most High God have them break it down to use the wood? But a lot of times, the Most High God use these things as a memorial.
Uh-huh.
Now, this thing, it has petrified into the ground.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is in Mount Ararat. So-called, this thing has the same dimensions, width, and breadth as the ark. But you know, Esau tried to explain it otherwise, but they know what it is. Like I said, these things are all on there. Brothers can do extensive research. Sisters can do extensive research. They know it's Noah's Ark. You know, they just try to blind out people to the fact.
And they were ready to burn out. A year and 7 months, these animals stinking like a mug. You been on there just, boy, crap everywhere. You got to clean. So that's why the brothers burnt out. Soon that door open, where you going? I'm going I'm going north. Where you going? I'm going southeast. I'm going southwest. Where you going? I'm going southeast. I'm out of here though. They burnt out. You know what I'm saying? They was like, shoot, I'm ready to go. They was out there a year and 7 months. That's why they didn't need the wood. Nah, I'm gonna find some more wood. That's what they were like. I don't want to mess with none of that wood, man.
The most people, the people that's really been doing extensive research is Moab and Esau. I know Moab especially built a tool to dig down in there. They done went in there, they done found the petrified wood. They done found where the Most High God had them use pitch, or what they call like a laminating organic glue to stop the boat from leaking. They found all these things. They found old animal hair, animal bones in there, and so forth.
And then the Most High is so clever because he only revealed it to them when they be talking about it. No, that's impossible. As soon as they say that, they found something that I guess it wasn't. They always find the evidence when the Most High only revealed it to them at a certain time. Like they've been sitting there all that time. You would think, you being a scientist, y'all got all the money, I would have been trying to look for it. You see what I'm saying? Oh, they probably tried to look for it, but could never find it until they came against it. Oh yeah, hold on, there it is right there. And then they found it. But the Most High gonna prove them wrong every time. Let's go to that was an ark that rested at that time. Let's go to the 8th month. What's the 8th month? Anybody? Huh?
See, you just said it. I said it.
Ooh. That's not BLU. That's ball. 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 B-U-L. 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 It means in the sense of rain. In the sense of rain. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 38. Let's get that. I want to get through these. We're not doing that. We're coming back next week to do 11 and 12. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 8. 6, verse 38.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 38. And in the 11th year, and in the month Bull, which is the 8th month, was the house finished throughout all the parts thereof.
What?
Was the house finished throughout the parts thereof.
Uh-huh.
And according to all the fashion of it, so was he 7 years in building it.
And then this 8th month, the house of what was finished. The temple.
The temple.
The temple is finished. Is it happening this 8th month of Bull? I'm just giving you a little slick. Let's go to the 9th month.
But I'm going to show even in chapter 7, you see King Solomon built the Lord's house before he even built his own house.
Yes.
Because chapter 7 is going into where now King Solomon built this house. That's meaning he put the Lord first, man. A lot of times we got to, hey, are we really putting the Lord first? Like we say, before jobs, because, hey, he the reason why we have a job. Before wives, he the reason why we have wives. Children, these things are very, hey, we got to understand this thing. Go ahead.
That's what he said. Well, he tell us to give your first fruits.
That's right.
Same thing. He's telling you, hey, don't wait about it. We know that we ain't like to put it on after we done did everything. Let me go here. Let me buy this. What I got left, I got these $2 left. Let me go and throw that in there. That's one thing I don't do. That phone hit that mud right now. That money got to go. I got to get that out first. Why? So then the Most High can bless me with whatever it is I got to do with the rest of it.
And if you can't turn it in, put it to the side before you do anything else.
Yes.
That's how we supposed
That's how
to
you
think.
do it. He said, give me your first. Ain't that what's name like, man? But he was up there coming, eating his fruit up, finna give God the rest of the grace when he done. Came, had a whole basket. He walked to him.
You want to fear these?
Then he pushed the bad, hasn't he? He gave his, that, no. That's why everything he done that. You put Most High first and foremost before you decide to go do anything you decide to go do. Put him first. I can promise you it's a better outcome than if you gonna jump your butt out there. But look at you. You ain't really did much for yourself anyway. You better put the Most High first. Let's go to we on Caslu, the month of Caslu. What month is Caslu? 9th month. Let's go. I'm gonna give you one of them, then I'm gonna give you the rest of them. First Maccabees 1 and 4. First Maccabees 4:52. Casleu, Casleu. And you'll see sometimes it's called Kislev. That's what the time back when it was the 9th month. Kislev. Huh? C-A-S. Kislev. Kislev. It's both.
Yeah, it's the same.
K-I-S-L-E-V.
Yeah.
Casleu.
You got the 8th month, October, November, 9th month, November, December.
November, December. What happens at this time? Anybody? There you go. Say it when like you know it.
Say it again, Brother Troy.
Priest dedication.
There you go. That's your beard was in the way. That muffin.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole...
52. Oh, you go for it.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year, by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness.
There you go. Now I'm going to give you some more. Zechariah 7 and 1. That's probably where you're gonna see Kislev, Kislev. Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 38. Y'all got that down? Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 38. This is the 9th month. I'm just giving you other scriptures. So y'all need to go back. When y'all want to go back and learn a little bit more, go through these scriptures, give you a little more about that month. I'm just trying to get y'all through. I got brothers falling asleep. I'm about to start throwing rocks at. Trying to get y'all asleep. I mean, get y'all awake. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Trying to get to where y'all can not fall asleep. I'm trying to get through this. Let me get through it, and we can eat. Y'all got 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 38. Let's go to the 10th month. What's the name of the 10th month? Anybody know?
Tibet.
Who?
Tibet.
Tibet. Read that.
October from
Where do we stop at? September? Yeah, go from there.
October from.
Now I'm talking about.
Now we just want to read this to show y'all what it means. October from octo meaning 8. So even Esau put it in there, letting you know that October really is the 8th month.
Month instead of the what do they call it? What do they got it on the Gregorian calendar? The 10th month, meaning that they knew
That's
that
right.
this was the 8th month. Like when you use Deca. Deca is like Deci. Deci means what? 10.
No mean what?
9. So you got 10, 9, and 8. They knew.
Sept means what?
So that's just letting you know. So if you want to tell for somebody why, that's the wrong month. And you can show it because that's what those names mean. November,
September,
month,
October,
December,
November,
December
December.
7. So that'll give you information and a number count as far as how it went. Read that now.
October from octo meaning 8, the 8th month of the primitive Roman calendar, which began in the year of March. It is the 10th month of the Gregorian or the Salakia of the Gregorian calendar. November from Nov for 9, the 9th month in the primitive Roman calendar. It is the 11th month in the Gregorian calendar. December from Decem for 10, the 10th month of the early Romans. It is now the 12th month.
Mm-hmm. Letting you know they changed that. Let's get Genesis 8 and 5. TEB. It's spelled 2 different ways. TEBETH, or it can be spelled TEBATH. ETH or TEBATH. Tibet or Tibet. Let's pronounce it both ways.
What you want?
Genesis 8 and 5.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 8 and verse 5. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month.
And now look, that's what it was talking about. Remember, it continued. Now you got to understand, this is a long period of time now on this boat now. They started decreasing. The waters, remember, after they seen the water receding, and it continued to decrease until the 10th month. That's just one other thing. Let me give you another one. Finish that out, and then we'll.
And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen.
The 10th month on the first day of the month was the top of the mountain seen. They had 40 days and 40 nights that did that. So on the 10th month, 10 months later, they seen the top of the mountain. That means sent the birds the bird went out and didn't come back. That's when they knew it was land. That's how they knew. So when they did that, this is 10 years, they're down. The top of not the bottom of the ground, the top of the mountain. See, but that water still didn't go all the way on until what? Next year in the 7th month. Following along. Got it. All right. Let's go to, let me give you these. Esther chapter 2, verse 16. Ezekiel 33 and 21. Yes. Esther 2 and 16, Ezekiel 33 and 21. Now let's go to the 11th month. Anybody know what the 11th month is? There we go. You can spell that. It's S-E-B-A-T. Or you can spell it S-E-B-E-T-H or S-E-B-A-T-H. Sabet or Sabat or Sabat. Let's stay in the New Testament. Let's go to Deuteronomy 1 and 3. In the Old Testament.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel, according unto all that the Lord had given him in commandment unto them.
Okay, that's in the 11th month. But if you go to first, I'm gonna give you this. First Maccabees, chapter 16, verse 14. Sabbat, that's where you get that at. Let's go to the last month.
Say it loud, brothers.
So the 10th month
January
would be,
to February.
just in case y'all caught up. 10th month, December, January. 11th month, January, February.
Yeah, because what is it, every fourth or every third?
Every third.
Every third, yeah, every third we have a double Adar. And that is because the calendar starts going backward, it moves it up to put everything lines back up. That's why if you go in the Jewish, they call it the 13th month. According to ours, we call it the double Adar.
Will be
The second
equivalent
Adar.
of like a leap year.
Yes.
So we don't celebrate the high holy days out of season, because then you start to go backwards,
Yeah.
celebrating it in
And the New Year being the
winter,
and all those
or
things.
tabernacles in winter, and all that, instead of the fall.
So, like I said, man, actually, if you look at it, every 3 years, you got 3 years. That other after the first double Adar, you got that's 3 years. After the second double Adar, that's 3 years. The next year will be what? Anybody can tell me?
And we know that can get a little complicated.
Yeah, we're not.
But you have to meditate on that side.
You know what
Brothers
that
and
is?
sisters gotta
Y'all know
meditate
what
on
that
it.
is? Anybody? Anybody? The 7 years, what? There you go. The year of Jubilee. And that's how they always have it. Yeah, double Adar, 3 years. Double Adar, that's 3 years. That's 6. The next year will be the year of Jubilee. And that's also the year what? Sabbath of the land. The Most
Sabbath of
High,
the land.
yeah, the Most High gave us enough to carry us through the whole year of harvest that we don't even have, because we have to when we get back to the land, the 7th year, we can't grow anything on the land because you got to let the nutrients build back up. And he knows something about that.
So basically, just like, say for instance, okay,
Hold your peace right quick.
just
brother.
like if you plant a corn like this year, you can't plant corn on the same ground the very next year. Why? Because you take too many nutrients out the ground. So you can go put another fruit or another vegetable on the ground, because it ain't gonna take out the same thing. That corn pulls out what it needs for that seed to grow. That's the reason why, say for instance, I plant corn this year. Next year I plant green beans. I plant rice. So the 7th year gives it the opportunity for it to get all the nutrients back. So when you start planting them corn, planting them seeds back again in that same land, that way the corn will have all its nutrients that it needs, the green beans and so on and so on. Y'all get that? So that's how the foreman works, right? Go ahead.
Now y'all can see what he been teaching me all the time because he done told me about all of it. I bet I can get out there and form from what he taught me. But I just want to get y'all on that. Let me give you all these scriptures on the dark.
Adar, what we on now? Adar. A-D-A-R.
A-D-A-R. A-D-A-R.
And that would be what? February to March.
Yes. Well, it'll be January for me. But that's
You
what
know,
you
put the
just
start
said.
at the end. The top part of March.
Oh, okay. I thought you had said January first.
Oh no, that was supposed to be January to February. Now February to March for Adar. For the 11th month, January.
I'm gonna make y'all a copy of this too, so y'all can always have it. Cause I'm gonna start making y'all a copy of all this stuff. But that way y'all start having all of these things like this, so y'all can see what was going on at the time.
Should be able to do it now. Just put it down there.
It ain't that. I do have no. I don't know that
Well,
thing.
it's no black.
But it's just the ink that's gonna be run out so fast. I didn't be learning out of it, especially you gotta use it. I got a lot of stuff for they got
Got your
there.
hand up, brother Noah?
I got another food list I found this morning. They go through all the groceries in there and let you know what got pork in it and what's unclean and what's not unclean. And I know you vegetarian and I found the vegetarian list. Found a lot of stuff this morning. I try to get all of that out, and I really want to do that package, but the last time I did that package, didn't nobody even use it, and it had all the Hebrew words in it. A lot of the Hebrew words, a lot of starter words where you can get to the beginning of learning your Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew. I want to get that for you, but I did that at one body, and I don't even think not one person came back. I was speaking, and everybody else was by myself. Just speaking. Can't even speak to nobody. I'm thinking they going and learning. So I want to be able to give y'all the packages, but it cost me a lot to get all of that stuff printed out. And I don't want to do it if y'all not going to use it. And that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to waste my time. I've done that and I wasted a lot of money by doing that for everybody over there. And nobody even paid attention to it. Like I said, I don't mind doing it, but y'all going to make me mad if I got to spend this money. And y'all not going to even try to learn it. I just want y'all to know some of these basic words. You know what I'm saying? That'd be good. You might be on the elevator. You can go ahead and talk without nobody in there knowing. So I do it, but I just want to know that y'all going to be at least trying to get up and learn a word every day. Better yet, if I pass it out, we gonna learn a word every day. I just thought about it. I will make you learn a word every week. We're gonna give a commandment and the word, and y'all better start learning. That's what we're gonna do. Because I'm gonna do it, but y'all gonna learn some stuff. I'm not gonna waste my money. Yeah, I'm gonna fit. You gonna eat this, buddy. Let me give you these scriptures on the dark. Esther, chapter 3, verse 13. Esther, chapter 8, verse 12. Esther, chapter 9, verse 1 and 21 through 22. Second Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 36. Somebody get that light. Okay, all right. Everybody got it. Everybody got it. Did everybody learn something? Do everybody write their notes? I want y'all to go back and study all of those months, and whenever you get a chance, come back to us and bring something spiritual that you got out of it. How about that? Because Jeroboam just broke it down. This is a spiritual thing, man. Just because we done brought out some stuff don't mean we got it all. I promise it's more in that cup. I promise you. And I want y'all, when you're going home, when you're reading or when you're saying you're studying, I want you to come back and bring something. But I want to start testing y'all. Y'all be saying, what you read? I read all of Deuteronomy. Okay. Start testing y'all on that and see if you read. Some of you just be saying, I started on Esther, then I went over. Nah, y'all gonna learn something. Better yet, we gonna start doing book reports. Y'all finna start learning, man. I'm tired of all this. Y'all, yeah. We in school, ain't we? But we gonna do some school work.
Let me read this law. This is the book of Psalms. Like we always tell brothers and sisters that's watching online, brothers and sisters in here, make sure that you celebrate the new moon. The new moon will be tomorrow sundown to Monday sundown. Remember, no buying, no selling, brothers and sisters.
Yes, and that gives y'all that time after this. When this sun go down tonight, y'all need to get prepared before the sun
sundown
down
tomorrow.
The good thing, because you should be off on Monday, so nobody should have no excuses about I gotta get ready, I gotta go to work. Y'all should be at a party like a sun gun on this one, because none of y'all what is that? Memorial Day is on that Monday, and I know y'all ain't going to work.
We know the medical field and the transportation, we still gonna have to.
Yeah, they'll still have to work.
Yeah.
For the brothers and sisters that do will.
Yeah, I forgot y'all in them trucks here, y'all. Yeah.
But
For the majority of y'all.
like we say, it's very important to practice these righteous rehearsals. We always say read the law, so we're gonna read this law. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel, and a law of the God of Jacob.
Oh, praises, boy. I'm glad y'all now. It said that is something we must be doing.
Right.
It's not no if and buts. If and buts about it, man. If you ain't got no short for it, nothing, man, go get a whistle. Something. Blow. You better blow it. We gotta blow a trumpet. Now, if you got a clarinet, blow that.
Thank you for brothers that's tuning in, sisters that's tuning in, like, share. Help us push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Brothers and sisters that have been donating to the cause, that money will be used according in a good way to come out and try to meet some of you brothers near you and sisters near y'all during this summer. So with that, go ahead.
And then we want to also, if y'all can, we want to try to get a new building, a new place that we outgrown this one really. So if you can help out, we appreciate that. And on that note, we're gonna say shalom.